introduction of I will go through a very brief introduction of our project. And of course, thank you, Felipe, for the introduction already. As you correctly mentioned, the overall project is coordinated by the Amaldi Foundation. Who do not know us, we are the foundation of the Italian Space Agency and the Hypatia Research Consortium. We work on an institutional mandate that is to support technology transfer processes, starting with the aerospace sector, but cross-fertilizing and also horizontal on all non-space sectors. We work within three main domains that are technology, finance, and education. Within the technology field, we support the development of research, development, and innovation projects, as it is INNO4CFI. And we do that in four main areas that are the life sciences, the Earth observation and telecommunication, the advanced manufacturing, and the electronics and new materials. Within the finance vertical, we support companies both in having access to entrepreneurial and the innovation ecosystem. And this is done both through public funding, as we will see again, it is also the case of INNO4CFIs, but also through private investment, so access to the capital, private capital, and the related market. And finally, educational part, which involves both the access to the understanding of how the integration of space technologies with other technology work, but also try to understand how to accelerate your business and also to navigate the entrepreneurial and the innovation world. Jumping into the main reason of this webinar today, so our project INNO4CFIs. INNO4CFIs is represented by, as you can see here, a very good partnership covering more or less a very good number of European countries and the related regions. We span from public entities to business acceleration companies to ecosystem builders, consultancy companies. So a very heterogeneous consortium that will support, especially for what concerns the open call, your path towards the carbon farming and green tech technology development, but also the access, as we said before, to the entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem. Why do we have INNO4CFIs ongoing? Mainly because we want to support through a set of tools the lack of knowledge in terms of technology access, also to entrepreneurial opportunities. Also because most of the companies working in the green tech field are facing financial challenges, especially for what concerns scale up and market uptake. And finally, because we have identified an important regional disparity in the innovation gap, but also in the technological support gap that we want to bridge. And finally, a scaling up risk. So we do have a very good ecosystem of SMEs and startups, and we want to support them in the last mile, so in the real scale-up phase. How do we try to solve all these problems? First of all, we are going to create a carbon farming technology platform, so a real integration of several technologies that span from space tech, so satellite-based technologies, to carbon storage tracker, to mycelium-based technologies, to elaborate a final technology that can support the carbon farming and green tech market. We do that through a validation in 4 different innovation ecosystems, specifically in Greece, Italy, Spain, and Belgium, to increase the CO2 uptake, while at the same time impacting on the environmental benefits that span from sustainable freshwater production to dry land and soil restoration, and finally biodiversity production. Next to the technological component, we are also going to create business and really innovation-oriented tool that is the interregional market uptake hub. So basically a marketplace where the technology providers, so the solution providers, can directly match and meet with the solution seekers. We will start with the ecosystem of the renewable energy communities, but not only with them, as we are going to expand our base of possible customers. And at the same time, we are going to integrate that with our companies, so the ones that we are going to select through the acceleration program. So we are going to support up to 40 SMEs that are bringing to the table highly innovative green tech and carbon farming technologies with a minimum TRL 6. And of course, we will support them through the acceleration program to arrive to a TRL 8 or 9. So to sum it up, we are going to launch we have already launched an acceleration program. We are currently in the second batch that will be presented by my colleagues Elena and Anna. We are going to develop one interregional market uptake hub, so a real European-based central marketplace where green tech technologies can have the chance to really scale to market uptake. And finally, we put on the table 20 international partners that I have just presented to you. So I will conclude my presentation now, as this was just to give you a brief overview and understanding of where we are placing our acceleration program. And I will leave the floor to my colleague from Impact Hub. So I guess, Elena. Thank you.
Thank you, Eleonora, for setting the frame of all this collective effort. So I will start sharing my screen in order to have a deeper dive on the acceleration program per se. So hello on my end as well. I'm Elena Kalimeri. I guess you can see my screen. I'm Elena Kalimeri from the Impact Hub Athens team. We are very happy to be part of this heterogeneous coalition of research institutions, business support organizations, and ecosystem builders. Our role in this collaboration is to design and have the main responsibility for the delivery of the acceleration program, which is an equity-free acceleration journey addressed to 40 promising carbon farming and green tech solutions with a TRL, with at least TRL 6. So who we are, Impact Hub Athens has been, it's a typical social business, let's say, which has been up and running within the Greek and the European ecosystem for the past 13 years. We are a globally connected and locally rooted network, which practically means that we are an autonomous business unit, but we are connected with about 127 impact hubs in more than operating in more than 60 countries across the 5 continents. So through this collaboration, through this global network, we can actively canalize opportunities for our business, but also for our community members, which are mainly startups and established businesses, which want to operate in a more sustainable way. So, what connects, what drives our modus operandi, but what also connects us with all these impact hubs in all around the world is a common methodology. So when it comes either to a community building activity or to a program, we have three, let's say, compasses: inspiration, meaningful connections and curated connections, and enabling, so providing knowledge, tools to our partners, to our community members, to be able to be up to date and maybe beyond the current situations, in order to be able to effectively address challenges and create business opportunities through that. So, practically speaking, we create communities for impact. These communities have at their core sustainable entrepreneurship. So we support entrepreneurs in different maturity levels, and we help them building their R&D, and of course create collaborations for scaling and growth. So, in a nutshell, and specifically for our Greek organization, within the past 10 years, we've managed to support more than 1,000 ventures, enabling them to acquire funding of more than 1 million euros. And we have access, we're actively connected with more than 150 partners and 27,000 professionals in all around the world. So, the acceleration program. As Eleonora has already shared with you, we're going to have three cohorts. The first one, which was more or less a piloting phase for us, started officially in May. And is going to finish on July. So practically, this open call is an open invitation for startups and SMEs that would like to participate in the acceleration circle that is going to start officially in September and end up in December. So through this participation, our aim is to, of course, give a coherent legal guidance regarding the opportunities, but also the challenges that the carbon farming sector faces within the European market, but also to grow when it comes to acquiring more investments or to enter new markets or to get connected with either suppliers or potential clients. And last but not least, as Eleonora mentioned, for the startups and the SMEs that are participating with a project or a service that is from TRL 8 and beyond, all these teams will have the opportunity to participate in the regional market uptake hub, practically the first European marketplace when it comes to the carbon farming activities. So regarding the eligibility criteria, we're looking for startups and SMEs that are registered within in an EU member state, and that the solution that with which they're participating in our acceleration has a minimum TRL 6. I think it's already clear from my saying and from Eleonora saying that we have a strong preference. We're going to give priority to the carbon farming and sequestration solutions, but we're also open to collaborate, actually to incorporate in our cohort solutions that represent the green tech sector in general. So, as I've already said, the total duration of the second circle of the acceleration program is going to be 4 months. And each of the participating team is going to have at least 15 hours of tailored support. So we are thinking, of course, we are ready to tailor the program and the offering according to the needs of the startups that we were going to have. But if I may say so, we have two, let's say, main pillars. The one is strongly connected with the TRL advancement, so that a participating team can have can advance the TRL and be able to get onboarded to the marketplace, to the IMU. But we're also working on the investment readiness. Let's say, challenges and focus areas that we're going to address with each one of the startups or the SMEs that we're going to have. So it takes two to tango. That practically means that in order to have an effective investment of these upcoming 4 months, we need from you to attend and actively participate, to be prepared when it comes to the mentoring and expert slots. Of course, to communicate in a transparent way and support your peers, because throughout our more than 10-year experience, we've seen that, of course, experts can bring to the table meaningful solutions and meaningful knowledge, but it's also important, these peer-to-peer procedures. What we offer? We offer curated connections after a specific and customized entrepreneurial journey for each one of the participants. We offer a pool of more than 30 practically experts. You can see some of them here. They represent not only the institutional and researching carbon farming community, but also the business side of things, and of course the investment opportunities that might be unlocked. So, and of course, this pool will be expanded, will be further expanded for the second cohort. So regarding the timeline, the applications are open. We're looking forward to receiving, to get to know more about your projects, and the deadline is on the 1st of July. So during the summer, practically, we're going to have limited exchanges, mainly focusing on the administrative side of things, like participation agreements and NDAs and these things. And the acceleration modules are going to kick off on September, and of course we're going to celebrate this journey on September with a demo day. So for this first cohort, we're supporting 4 startups. We've managed to get on board 4 seed funds and investing agencies, and we're actively actually, while focusing on the individual consultations, we've also created some collective moments of meaningful exchanges. Thank you very much. I'm here. I'm open to any questions you might have, and I will stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you for this great presentation. In case anyone's wondering, if you have any questions, you can always send them on the webinar chat or in the Q&A session on Zoom. So we're taking questions if anyone has any, and otherwise we can always come back to the questions later on. So I'll leave the floor to Anna Mello from F6S to show you a little bit on how to make the process. Anna, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Anna Mello from F6S. So we are the open call management team, basically. So let me try to share my screen just a second. I hope you can see it. Can you confirm if you can see it? I hope so.
It's not now. We can. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through the process for applying for the second open call. And we'll start by looking at our website, our beautiful website from INNO4CFIs. So in this website, you will have information about the project that sustains this open call and includes this open call. And you can learn about the project, the partners, the living hubs, whatever you want. And this can make sense for you to understand what kind of project you are also associating yourself with. And you have a specific tab for the open calls that I just clicked. Once you get to that tab, you have all the information about this acceleration program. You have access to the guidelines for applicants. So with all the information that you need to understand how the process is conducted. Not only the eligibility criteria, for example, and the criteria for participation, but also the evaluation criteria and the steps for contracting. So everything it's here. We'll go there in a second. But you will see that you have all the information in this page, and you also have the apply button. So let's go step by step. The first thing that you should do is to know the guideline for applicants, which is the button that I just clicked. And once you click it, you will have access to this guideline. It's a 20-page document, but it's not too heavy to read. You have here I'm sorry, let me just put this a bit bigger, maybe a bit like this. You have here a description of this open call in a nutshell. So basically a one-pager to explain the open call, a bit of the project overview, and how does this open call connect to this project. And then you'll have the access to all the criteria, both for the eligibility and the evaluation. So let me just click here on the eligibility criteria. We should jump to the page. Just loading. So here you can see what Elena presented in the print just before me. So that the application, for your application to be considered eligible, it should be submitted in English and in this website, our F6S's platform. Your company must be legally established, a legally established SME or startup developing a carbon farming or green technology solution. You must be registered in an EU member state, any region. This is different from the open call number one. I don't know if there is anyone here that also applied for open call number one, but if that's the case, so open call number one was for specific regions, and this time we are opening to all regions in Europe. And you must have a solution that is TRL6 or above that, and you must prove that that is the case. So you will see I think it's well detailed and well explained. Also the process from application to the selection. So what happens after you apply, and how you will be evaluated. What are the criteria for your evaluation? How it will be scored. So everything is here explained. So let me just go back again to our website and let me click on the button that says apply. When you do that, you will jump to the App Successes platform, and you will have access to the form that you need to fulfill. Obviously, if you're not yet enrolled or registered in App Successes platform, you must do so. But this is a very simple process that takes you 1 minute to do. You have to provide some kind of basic information about your company, but it's quite simple, so it's hidden here. And then you can start answering to the specific questions for this open call. So it's divided in 4 different sections. The first section is about information about your company as an applicant. So the name of the company, the official address, the country you're in, if you are in any of these specific regions, because if you are, there are some extra points for you, because these are mainly less developed regions or regions from the consortium. Your VAT, what kind of entity you are, the name and of your website, the name of the person of contact for any specific requests that we may have. And the second section is about your solution. So your product, your prototype, whatever you want to call it, we call it solution. So you have to describe it in a brief sentence and also in a more complete way. You have to give us some kind of operational details and explain us what is the goal of your solution, your target audience, if you already have customers, or if you don't, what are your plans to achieve this audience? Some details also on your business and financial sustainability, on your team, and your motivation for applying. So all of these, and this is the most significant section, all of these will support us to evaluate your proposal. So the more detailed and the better the explanation you give us, the better qualification you have. And finally, and this is something that we encourage you to do, we ask you to send us either send us a link or upload a video that showcases your solution, because this really helps our team, the evaluation team, to understand your solution. The third section is about TRL, because as I said, in order to be selected, you must be TRL 6 at least. So you must declare your TRL level, and then you must upload some evidence to support that TRL level that you have. And this is an eligibility criteria. So if you don't meet this, you will not move forward in the process. And then there are some consent agreements, typical questions, and some additional questions for us to understand how you heard about this opportunity. And finally, when you have done all this and all the questions that have a small star in the end are mandatory. When you have done all this, you can click in the blue button and your application is submitted. We get it from our end. And you will also get an email confirming that you have submitted the application, and you can go back to your application to check what you've done through the buttons in that email. Lastly, I also want to point out the importance of and clarifications, questions and answers being done through this discussion forum. So in the guidelines for applicants, you have the link to this discussion forum, which basically puts you in direct contact with us. So if you have any specific question about any criteria or anything that related to this process, you can include it here. This makes the process transparent because everybody can check your question and also check the answer. So we encourage you to use it as much as possible. And I think that's it from my side. I'll leave the floor to Felipe again. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for this presentation. Actually, we have a couple of questions from Daniel. So maybe we could reinforce these information. First question is, what are the criteria for selecting the finalist startups in the program? Maybe we can highlight this again to make sure everyone understood it.
Yes, let me go back to, so the criteria is clearly described in the guidelines. Let me open that again. Again, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
There is, so let's go directly to the section that talks about the evaluation. So the first thing that we do is, in terms of evaluating your application, is to check whether you meet the eligibility criteria or not. The eligibility criteria, I've described it already. It's here. It's in these 5 points. So you must meet them all together, not one instead of the other, but you must meet them all. If you do meet them all, then you will be moving ahead in the process, and we, as the evaluation team, will evaluate your proposal. So, and for this evaluation, again, let me put it a bit bigger. There are some criteria that are going to be evaluated. Basically, our team will give you a score for your answers in this application form that you are fulfilling. So they will give you a score for your motivation and the program relevance. They will give you a score 1 to 5 for your team skills and expertise, innovation and technology excellence, business and financial viability. So all of these are being scored 1 to 5, and there's a threshold of 2. So you must meet at least 2 to be considered for the program. There are also some, let's say, advantages if you are from specific regions, and the regions are described here. And if you are a carbon farming solution, because as Eleonora explained in the beginning, we are a carbon farming project mainly. So we are giving some extra points and some advantages for people in these regions and in this with the specific technologies. So if you meet the threshold for all these criteria, you will be ranked. You will be selected. You will be ranked, and if you are one of the top 20, you should be selected. So this is, I think, very well explained in this book. So I encourage you, Danielle, to go through these guidelines, and please reach out through the discussion to the discussion forum if you have any extra questions.
Thank you, Anna. Actually, Daniel already had another question, so let's make sure he understands this. So, can it apply to startups in the soft landing phase in Europe?
Soft landing phase in Europe. Okay. Elena, do you want to answer this?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Okay, I can repeat it. So, can it apply to startups in the soft landing phase in Europe?
It depends on how do you define the soft landing, actually. For us, it's quite clear. If you have a TRL6, we need a legal entity and TRL6 above. If you think that you actually, if you do have a legal entity within an EU member state on the one hand, and on the other hand, if you have or if you believe you have a TRL6, then we are more than happy to get your application and evaluate it according to the criteria Anna already shared with you.
Thank you very much, Lena. I hope this clarified the questions. So now maybe we can hear a little bit about the testimony from Davide, who was selected from the first phase of the acceleration program. Davide, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, we are disrupting an 8.6 trillion global food and longevity market. We are offering 20 more years of health and 10 years more longevity. We are an investable longevity science farming product as a service. Hello, I'm Davide Balbi, neurolinguistic master practitioner, and I do love nutrition. So imagine your life. Scientists see our body as a 120 years longevity chance. And let's see how we shorten our lifespan. 5% is DNA, 25% is our ambient. 70% can be modified through lifestyle factors, nutrition, physical activity, stress management, sleep quality, social interaction, but the most important is mental attitude. The project is a deep tech longevity agri-tech platform that merges technology for personalized nutrition, turning food into precision health technology. So why did we join the accelerator? Even company like Google needed the venture capital to move out from the garage and scale globally. In this industry, fundraising funnels are extremely selective. Sometimes you need 500 meetings to get one investment. Every piece of advice, every connection, every insight can make a difference in building traction and accelerating growth. The acceleration provides us exactly what we did: expertise, visibility, and the opportunity to strengthen our scaling technology. Let's see how the program has supported us. The program has been very valuable for us until now, and we have refined our proposal strategy for SME instrument as the Horizon Call, adapting them to topics such as controlled environment agriculture and circular bioeconomy. We also gained a deeper insight on digital compliance as the AI Act, data security, Internet of Things certification, all crucial aspects for scaling our platform internationally. And the last, I would talk about key lessons and takeaways. One of the most important lessons is that even if you believe that your pitch is perfect, for an 8 years old understanding, every feedback session with investors, mentors, or expert always bring new perspectives, new angles to improve how to communicate your value and present your project. Being open to external feedback is a key to continuous evolution in a startup. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Davide, for this great testimonial and for presenting some of your experience as well. So we're now again open to some questions if anyone has any left one. Well, apparently we have no further questions, unless one of the keynote speakers would like to give a final word, or we can just close the session.
Be brave, be courageous, and even if you're not sure that you meet the TRL6 threshold, start writing the proposal. It's always helpful to get some feedback, but also to explore the chances of entering a new ecosystem.
Great, Elena. Thank you. Thank you for this encouraging words. So if there are no remaining questions, I thank you all for your attendance. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us via the platforms Anna has presented. Thank you all for joining, and see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Davide, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.